requested funding by LaGrange, Millbrook, and Beekman libraries. We complied with $25,000 in 2012 and 2013, which was increased in 2014 and 2015 to $30,000. Even though we donated to support them, these three libraries put restrictions on what Unionville residents could borrow. But our residents could use other libraries in the Mid-Hudson library system to get the services they needed. Those three library boards, the library boards came to Unionville and requested greater funding. How many times did they come? 3 times? But our budget was getting tighter and tighter, and we felt that $30,000 was all we wanted to provide. In the March 2015 meeting of the Mid-Hudson Library System, Beekman, LaGrange, and Millbrook Libraries petitioned that they considered us a hardship to serve and an inequity to their towns. And as a result, the Mid-Hudson Library System put Unionville on restrictions in all libraries in their system in August of 2015. This was a wrongful decision to make against Unionville, but they had the authority to do it, and they did. Since then, Unionville has been working to get accurate statistics on library usage, both ours and each of the 3 towns claiming hardship, and we need accurate cost figures. We have just been getting, somebody handed some of them to me today that they figured out. We have a chance to get Unionville back into all of the Mid-Hudson libraries without restrictions except those in place in Millbrook, Beekman, and LaGrange. This would give us a chance to get the decision of library funding to the voters in 2016. We have petitions, people ready to go with petitions, but they were told by the Board of Elections to wait into 2016 to file them. The town tried to get it on the ballot for this year and found the board that we as a board could not do this. It had to be by petitions from residents. A petition circulated by residents had to be made and presented to the Mid-Hudson Library System for inclusion in the ballot. The Mid-Hudson Library System is meeting on October 16th. And we have an amendment to our contract with them. And if we pledge an additional $20,000 for this year, because they did ask for $50,000 and we only gave them $30,000, and $72,000 in the 2016 budget, which I have in the tentative budget, this will get our residents back into the libraries that they were restricted from in August. It will also keep those libraries open to us through 2016. Our homeschoolers, teachers, elderly, and those with sight handicaps will have access to DVDs, audiobooks, and the other library uses they had before the overall restrictions were put in place in August. This will give us a whole year to put a petition to the voters so everyone will have a say as to what they want to do about funding libraries. There are people ready to go with petition, but they have to wait till 2016 to have it signed and presented. I feel very strongly that we were dealt with unfairly, and this is the way we can make the best of a bad deal. So at this point, I'll open the meeting to comments from the rest of the board.
I've got an opinion on this. 2 years ago, our membership fee was $20,000 through the Mid-Hudson Library System. They demanded that we increase that to $50,000. It would be an increase of 150% when we were faced with a 4% tax cap increase by the state. This is an increase on our part of 25% to Mid-Hudson Library System. Last year, they came back again with this $50,000 demand, and our tax cap had been reduced to 2%. We were allowed a 2% increase by the state. We allotted $30,000, which was another $5,000, and which amounted to an increase of another 20% on our part. In 2 years, we've increased our allotments to the county, or the Mid-Hudson Library System by 45%, when we were faced with a total of 6% tax increase cap. Next year, the demand is $74,000. 72,000? Okay. We have a tax cap restriction of 0.73%. That $72,000 is about 360% increase over 2 years ago. I watched this very similar situation happen in the town of Wappinger. Town of Wappinger subscribed to a Village of Wappinger library. Was originally paying $40,000 a year to have access to that library. That was 10 years ago. The libraries came in a similar fashion, demanding increases on a yearly basis. And 10 years later, that amount is up to $640,000. I just am seeing a very similar thing happen here. What this resolution here offers is full payment for what amounts to 2.5 months worth of unrestricted access by our residents. And our residents do have access to the libraries. They aren't locked out. They're restricted from taking out some of the materials that they can read within the library doors and use within the library's doors themselves. Even with a full amount donation, Unionville residents will become second fiddles to the Beekman residents, LaGrange residents, whichever residents the home library is in. Our residents will come in order behind them with the full amount that we donate. It's my feeling that these hardships are on the part of the Mid-Hudson Library System, putting unreasonable demands on our taxpayers.
Okay, Pat, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of stuff Steve just said, and I'm not in favor of giving the library $20,000 at this point of the year, because if you calculate that out, that would be over $120,000 for the year, which I think is excessive. We gave them what we thought was fair in our budget, and I think they're being unfair to us. I think it's extortion. They're threatening us with restricting our residents, which I feel very bad about, but I don't think it's fair the way they went about it, and to just bow down and write them a check because they say this is what we owe them, especially at this point, because they've already restricted our residents for 3 months. I don't think that's the right fiscal thing to do. That's what we're here for, to watch our town's budget, and I just don't think it's the proper thing to do.
Okay, John?
My question is, where are we going to get the $20,000 for this year, since we budgeted only $30,000? We're very tight on money. Can you give me some insight on that?
We have enough in our fund balance to, if we can't find it in the budget, we have enough in the fund balance to manage the $20,000.
And secondly, it still doesn't resolve all the restrictions. That's another concern I have. If that would remove all restrictions, I would be very in favor of it, but it still doesn't resolve all those restrictions. Not all of the restrictions, some of them, but not all of them.
Okay, Ralph?
Well, I agree with the rest of the board. However, I would be in favor of paying the $72,000 next year, but get a contract with the library system where for the next 10 years, it doesn't go up no more than 2% for every year. Otherwise, we're going to end up right back where we are now. We're going to be held hostage again, and we're going to have to go from 72,000 to 150,000 maybe. So that's my input on it. I'd be in favor of giving them 72,000 next year with a 2% increase every year for the next 10 years.
I'd also like to note that our town attorney is opposed to us taking action on this. resolution.
Well, let me finish up. I don't like the way that we were treated, that we were taken away from all the libraries in the Mid-Hudson library system. I agree with that is extortion just to get money out of us. But nevertheless, there are a lot of people in this town that need access to the libraries. And if we gave them the $20,000 this year, pledge $72,000 for next year, it would give us a year's bargaining, that we could bargain with them for a year and get a more equitable thing, and also put it in front of the voters. And then we would know it would be taken away from this board. We wouldn't have to go through this every year with a budget.
Now, I thought we don't have the authority to put it in front of the
No,
voters.
but it will get done.
By who?
Well, there's 2 women in town that are ready to go in January to
But
get it done.
Weren't we told earlier this year that we can't put it in front of the voters, only the library system could?
Well, they get the petition, and they'll give it to the Mid-Hudson library system, and
They will put it on.
they will put it
I
on.
see, okay.
Yes, it will get on. There's no way that they can not get it on, but we have to just go. We
Mhm.
can't do it.
Yeah,
It has to be
but
done
that's the
by
process.
a resident.
That should have been done this year. But
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we
they-
did,
I think, you know, that they dropped the ball on that end because it should have been something that should have been on the ballot this year.
mhm.
but
That's not our position to do that.
all I'm asking for is a year's grace. If this will give us a year's grace, it will
How
get
did
every,
negotiations go this year? How did negotiating with the library system go this year?
you gotta be kidding.
There we
We
go.
don't
What makes you
negotiate.
think it'll be better next year?
No, I'm saying that next year, we will put it on the ballot, and the whole town will be able to say, yes, we fund the libraries, or no, we're not gonna be funding the libraries. And that way, everybody will know where they stand, and we don't have to make the decision. But I know people are, the homeschoolers are missing the DVDs, and lots of people are missing the audio books. It may seem small things to you, but it's big things to them. And all this would do, I'm not saying it will solve the problem, because it won't. But all I'm saying is, it will give us a year's grace. We will not in 2016 be petitioned again and be put on restrictions by all the libraries in the Mid-Hudson library system. This will give us a year's grace, and then we will get the petition on the ballot for next year, and then our constituency will tell us whether or not they want to fund the libraries, and we don't have to be doing this. I think this is to keep the people out of the libraries, I think is a very, very,
I'm going to
Poor
correct you.
decision.
The people are not prevented from going to
of
the
course
libraries.
not, but the things that they really need the most, they're prevented from getting. It's the DVDs, which are both educational and entertainment, the ebooks, and all the other little amenities that we've been taken away from all the libraries. What this will do, it will give us access to all the libraries in the Middlesex library system, except those 3 libraries, except LaGrange and Millbrook and Beekman. And thank you, Millbrook Library, because you have been much less restrictive for Unionville people than the other 2. You kept your computers open, and I thank you for that. I just think this was we had a bad deal, and this is one way of making the best of a bad deal, and I feel very strongly about it, but we'll have to call for a vote on amending our library contract to include the $20,000 for this year, and they will They will vote on it on the 16th, and the people can be back in the rest of the libraries on, will I look at the calendar? They'll redo the computers starting on the 19th, so the week of the, early in the night, week of the 19th, people can get back in the libraries and get the things that they've been missing for since early in August. Mary Lou, you might have a roll call vote, please.
Nobody's made the motion.
Okay. You don't want to make the motion at all, so we can vote on it?
All right, I'll make the motion to vote on the budget amendment, I mean, not the budget amendment,
The contract.
the library contract amendment.
Okay, I can second that, I'll second that.
Okay, John Welch, Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman Frazier,
No, this is an incomplete contract.
No.
No.
Supervisor Hisman,
Yes.
Councilman Mandela,
No.
Councilman Riley.
No.
Okay. Guys, I think